Hey guys, I'm Jake Atlas and you're watching Heavy Wrestle TV.
Heavy Wrestle Freaks! I'm your host, Alicia Warrington. This guy right here, you've seen him at Santino Brothers, PWG, PCW Ultra. He's the 2017 SoCal Rookie of the Year, and he's pretty bomb. It's Jake Atlas!
Yeah. What's up, guys? Thank you guys. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked. When you reached out, I've seen your episodes with Doug and Brody, so
cool.
When you reached out, I was like, yes, I finally got the call.
You were recently on an episode of Celebrity Undercover Boss.
Yeah.
Where WWE's Stephanie McMahon surprised you by making you an ambassador for the WWE.
Yes.
How cool is that?
Yep.
Now, what exactly does that role entail?
So details are still kind of scarce for me, but I do know that my first assignment will be in a couple weeks.
Okay.
I will be flying out to Boston where Raw will be there, and they're also doing a Be a Star rally. So my part, I guess, with WWE is helping them push the Be a Star agenda, and that's something that really goes heavy in the summer and then during like their bigger events like Survivor Series, WrestleMania, stuff like that. So my I guess job or responsibility is to kind of help promote that. For those that aren't familiar with the Be a Star program, it's their anti-bullying campaign. Their idea, they're partnered with different corporations like GLAAD, the Creative Coalition, and the Boys and Girls Club of America. If you guys watched the episode, it was something that I definitely it just happened, you know, when I was talking to Stephanie when she was undercover and sharing, you know, my background and my story was something that I guess she felt it's something I could be a benefit of to the WWE. So I'm excited to do that. So yeah.
That's awesome. That must be like a dream come true.
Yeah. I think that my dream has always been to work for the WWE. So any step in that direction is
the right direction.
Yeah.
Also, through Undercover Boss, WWE graciously gave you $25,000 for a down payment on a house. How did that feel to be able to help your mom financially?
It felt great because at the time we had just finished up our lease at a place that, the homeowners were like, you can't live there anymore. And we were kind of like, whoa, we were given, maybe less than 2 months notice. And we didn't know what to do. And it was funny because during this whole process was when I got casted for Undercover Boss. So the timing just helped out great, and I was glad that I was pushed to kind of talk about that because it was something that I was a little bit hesitant. But with television and production, they kind of encouraged me to be open about it. So I'm glad that I did because I was able to help out in a little bit, my brother and my mom.
Earlier this year, you announced that you were gay.
Yeah.
And that you'd been wanting to come out for a while, but of course you were scared about the reaction from the wrestling community.
Yes.
So where did you finally get that strength?
So now that I can talk about it, because the episode's out, it actually came that week of filming. Obviously, I filmed in November. I didn't get announced for the award or come out until January.
Okay, so that happened first. So
yes.
You're like, well, everyone's going to see.
Yes, so, and I had no idea when it was going to film. I had no clue. They didn't have a clue. So yeah, my intention was I'm just going to do this on national television. Here it goes. So that's why it's kind of, when I watched the episode back and there was kind of like that pause and that hesitation when I, said that I was gay. Like in the moment I was like, well, I was coming out then, but people know now, so I was like, I hope there's a connection there. But anyway.
Not everyone's coming out story is on national television.
True, yeah. No, not at all. No, there's very select few. But yeah, so I got my strength there, and I figured, WWE knows, and like I said in the episode, I said, I want to work for them, and if one day I get to that point where I don't ever want to be rejected because of that, you know.
Right.
And it's still something that was in my mind. And you've heard people like Pat Patterson and Dario Baronato, who's in there now, and Darren Young, who used to be with them. But still, like when you're in these shoes, you don't understand. Like I guess being afraid of you not signing that, and so. In doing that and knowing that Stephanie knew, I was like, you know what? I think the next step is to kind of wait for the right moment to let people that are close to me know. I just wanted to make sure people knew, like, you know, this is important to me at this moment, and I think that's what kind of helped.
Wrestling is such a masculine sport. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine coming out in that type of environment.
I came out to the school first, way before the episode. I came and way before everyone. Actually, I'm just gonna put them
Santino Brothers.
I came out to Santino Brothers, but I came out to Brody. So in wrestling, Brody was the first person
Brody
I ever
King,
told.
for
Yes,
those of you watching.
he's not as scary as he may seem. He's
He looks like a scary guy, but he's a soft.
no, he's definitely a softie. I'll expose him every single day. But no, he was the first person I ever told, and it didn't come. I told him like maybe 6 months before I decided to tell the school, and I told the school, and that was positive. I told Joey Chaos, my trainer, first, and then I told the school, and they were super supportive, and they were supportive in the fact that I didn't want it to be something that was public. I wanted to be something between us, and something that was a bond between us, and
Right.
you know, because you know, and a lot of people, and I've said this plenty of times, I would show up to training sometimes and I just wouldn't want to talk to people because I didn't want there to be any indication of he's different, or
Right.
you know, I kind of just went in, did what I had to do, and then I kind of just left. I didn't want to spark a friendship. I didn't want to, because you know, with that in my mind is like, then the guys are going to want to talk about girls, and then what am I going to say then, you know, like it just puts me in awkward situation. It did put me in awkward situations.
And I mean, it's indie wrestling. It's not like you have an HR department
No.
or like someone to protect you in the workplace. So
Yeah,
that's
no,
gotta be
you're
really
kind-
scary. Is there the support of the locker rooms, not just at Santino Brothers,
Oh.
but in the other promotions?
Yeah, 100%. I think one that I can really like give like a shout out to, I guess, is Joseph and PCW Ultra, and he was the one who kind of has made me feel more, I guess, comfortable in a way. I just recently debuted for them, so that was my first time being in the locker room. Usually,
Right.
you know, I've been to the shows because I help out with setting up and doing the ring, but I was never in the back. I was never in the locker room, and you know, I've always had a good relationship with Joe, but I think it was really cool for him to kind of reach out to me privately and just say, "Hey man, I know it's Pride Month. I'm willing to support you." That means a lot to me.
He's
and
great,
and
yeah.
that means a lot to me, and it's something that I appreciate and I always keep in the back of my mind.
How would your childhood have been different if you would have had a gay world wrestling champion to look up to?
Oh man, I think I would have had someone to like really like idolize. I have my favorite wrestlers, you know, that I grew up watching, but like there's like I see how people idolize certain wrestlers, and it's because they have a certain connection. So I think that I would have been a lot more comfortable, you know, getting into wrestling and getting into my character, getting into who I am, because that's another thing is my character, I don't care anymore. Like, you know, before I would change the way that I would talk. I would change the tone of my voice. I would lower it. I would deepen it, and I would, you know, my mannerisms would change. I would do a lot in my power to try my best to keep it, like to keep my masculinity, I guess, or whatever people thought was right or what they wanted to see of me. Like I tried my best to mold myself like that. And it would eat at me. So if I saw someone like on TV who was just themselves or was just honest about it, and I'm like, man, like I feel that way. And I see it now that I'm older, you know, and it still helps. It definitely helps. But now I'm in pursuit of my own career, and I want to do that for others so that they don't have to struggle to get there. And people like Darren Young, Freddie Roser, like helped out a lot when he came out. I remember seeing his video on TMZ and I was like, whoa, I was in shock. You know, at the time I was very young. I was like 14 or 15 or something. And at the time I not only was I struggling with my identity, but I was like, I knew like that struck a chord. And I was like, whoa, like that impacted me seeing that video. And I remember
like, some people being like, is this a work? This has got to be work.
Yeah, no. I remember
I don't think
I
so.
spent a week like just diving into it, like on the internet.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And it was, like I said, at a time where I was struggling with it. And again, that goes to show, like you asked, like how would it have been different if you had a hero? Like it made me incline more towards, man, that's okay. Like it's okay. Like aside from being, you know, in wrestling and being gay, just being gay, period.
Besides wrestling, what does Jake Atlas want to be known for?
It sounds big, but I want to change the world. Like I've always, in a little bit, like I'm just so passionate about little things. Like I'm Mexican American, so I'm a huge advocate and support for like immigration issues and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't like to get political in like my wrestling career because they're separate. But there's just so many things that I'm passionate about that I've always, and this is probably why like my mom and I always argue, is like I'm always so political and I always want like the right thing to happen, or I always want people to hear me, or I always want people to know like my opinion, and not in the sense like, oh, I'm right, you're wrong. I just like, let's talk about it, like so I can understand you can understand me. Issues like that I've just always been really, really passionate. So I want to do it all, you know, like
And nothing's too big. You said it
No,
might sound
yeah.
too big, but it's not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you can change the world.
Yeah, I hope.
Let's talk about PCW Ultra.
Yeah.
You are on their upcoming pay-per-view.
Yes.
Sound the
July
Alarm,
27th, yeah.
July 27th. Now, with your wrestling debut in 2016, you're still a newcomer.
Yes.
Yet, your upcoming matches with Rich Swann and Matt Cross. So, what does that say to the world about Jake Atlas and your in-ring ability?
Oh man, I think it means that a lot of people are gonna want to be watching me to see like, man, can this kid go? But I think it means like, yeah, this kid can go. You know, like I go out there and I try my best to just do my thing, you know, and sometimes it goes right, sometimes it goes wrong. We experiment, you know, things go left, things go right, but you can't deny that when I'm in there, like I'm having fun and at least I'm trying my best and I can hang. I'm confident in my abilities, so I'm hoping that people can see that, you know, and for PCW to, you know, have faith in me to be like, hey man, like you're in this match because we think you can kill it, you know, it's like, well, time to show the fans that I can kill it. I'm in wrestling to be successful, and this is a step in that direction.
Your style is very energetic. You incorporate a lot of high spots, your gymnastics background.
Right.
Are you or your trainers concerned about that style and the strain on your body for the longevity of the business?
Yes. Because back in 2014, when I first started training, I broke my neck. Doing a not doing something wrestling related, but doing something gymnastics related in the ring. And ever since then, I've kind of changed my perspective on how I want to wrestle. One of my favorites right now, ever, he's one of my favorite wrestlers. Will Ospreay and Ricochet were some of my inspirations when I started training, and I found indie wrestling. They were all I've watched. Now it's like I'm not going to get to that style. You know, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be good. You know, but I'm not going to get to that style that I wanted, where I'm like flipping, you know, every second of the match. But I think, you know, everything happens for a reason. It kind of, you know, and Chaos and I have talked about this, is it kind of allowed me to explore a new avenue and learn to become a striker. Chaos kind of put that in me, you know, because in my mind I was fixated on I want to be this kind of wrestler. You know, growing up, actually, like as a kid,
You watched a lot of lucha.
Yeah, I watched a lot of lucha, so I would watch a lot of like high flying stuff. You know, Eddie Guerrero I really enjoyed. AJ Styles was amazing when he did TNA. So that's what I wanted to mold myself after. And so now I'm not fixated on that. Now I'm like, how can I be a well-rounded performer?
Trish or Lita?
Trish, 100%.
What music do you work out to?
Hip hop.
Dream opponent?
Ricochet.
Favorite movie?
Lion King.
Favorite WWE pay-per-view?
Ooh, WrestleMania.
Most inspiring gay icon?
For me, because when I was a kid, Lady Gaga.
Cheat day meal?
In and out.
Last book that you read?
It is. Oh man, what is it called? It looks like this. I got it at Target.
First live wrestling event?
It was a lucha show at one of the Arena Coliseo in Guadalajara.
Who would you have make your entrance music if you could have anyone?
Ooh, maybe like the Killers, if they could do like something a little bit edgier.
If you are not subscribed to Heavy Wrestle TV on YouTube, what are you waiting for? Heavy Wrestle TV on all social media. Follow us, subscribe. Jake Atlas, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Of course, no, thank you.
Any words for our viewers?
Thank you guys for coming along on this journey. Thank you guys for watching this. Thank you for all your support. Let's keep, being kind to one another. And yeah, thank you guys.